Makeup can be something that enhances our appearance and features, but if you apply it in the wrong way, you could really be making yourself look older, and nobody wants that.
No, and I've learned the hard way. So to help us avoid the 3 biggest makeup mistakes that I've already made is our makeup expert and celebrity makeup artist, Jeray D. Banks. So Jeray, let's start with something that I learned from you back when I was on Daily Blast Live. That was my blush application. Tell them what a lot of people do wrong and what they should be doing.
Yes, friend, you got it. So this happens all the time, unfortunately. Our grandmothers, our aunties, our mothers, our cousins, everyone tells us to smile big and apply your blush right at the apples of your cheeks, right? That was great to start. But we've grown up, we've elevated. So thank you, grandmama, mama, auntie, all y'all. We appreciate what you did. But now we have a new way. So instead, we want to apply a blush from the back of the cheekbone forward, okay? Now, when we go to the front, it can sometimes push our face together too much. And then we actually don't get this lifted look that we're all wanting. So instead, I'll show you really quick.
Okay.
Sam, you know, but Alex, I'm excited to show you too, friend. Okay. You look like you slay your blush, though.
Yes, she does.
I'm like,
I love blush.
I'm here for it.
I put blush everywhere on my cheeks, over here. I love blush.
Yes, and which is a
pile
good
it on.
thing. And it's not a bad thing. We just gotta make sure we're doing it in a technique that's great. So instead, instead of going from the front here, we're gonna start at the back of the cheekbone. We're gently going to tap our blush forward. And notice how I'm caressing towards the front of the apple of her cheek there. So you can gently go back in those small little circular movements. And then if it makes you feel better for some insurance, you can then sweep back as well more time. Notice, if we would have gone right in the front of the blush or right in front of the cheek, and I'm actually gonna turn you, I'll show you guys. If we go right here in the front of the cheeks, it doesn't really leave much for the imagination. It just kind of gives just a flush of color. When instead, it's 2024, friends. We have 4K, we have HD everywhere. We gotta make sure that we're looking great from all angles. So instead, we're gonna blend that blush from the back to the front. Notice how that instantly just kind of lifted her look up a little bit more and made sure that she had more of that neutral, soft approach there.
It looks gorgeous. You weren't wearing enough blush.
That's what it was, right?
I was waiting on Jeray.
Okay,
exactly.
right.
We had
But
this planned.
It brightened your face
And
instantly.
created
I
that
needed it.
extra elevation. And if you're afraid of contouring, that's a great way to just stop at that point instead of doing all of the mucky contour and the deep shade. Leave that for the pros, okay? You just do that little bit of blush from the back to the front, okay?
It looks great.
All right, thank
What
you
about
so
eyes?
much.
That's such an important one.
Eyes is huge. Now,
Tell them what I was doing.
yes. So a lot of the girls, and Sam was a part of this as well, a lot of the girls love to overload on the mascara on the bottom, okay? What I mean by that is that we're treating the top just like the bottom. And we don't treat our face like we treat our body, right? It's kind of similar to our eyes. They need a little bit of a different care. So normally, most people would just go to town and they'll just kind of go right in there and we'll go back and forth and then kind of extend down, right? That's a little bit too much. Instead, we're going to, I'll have you look straight up for me, Sam. Go towards the base of your lashes and gently wiggle forward, okay? That is plenty to ensure that you have a little bit of emphasis on the eye without creating this big,
You said I was dragging my face down.
yeah, and I hate.
You don't want it to drag
Sam,
down.
don't tell them what you're making me sound like I'm a mean person, you know? But
you're right.
it's true
Get
though.
it together.
It's so true. You can really pull your face down by overextending the mascara too far down. Another trick is sometimes, and Sam still sticks with the black liner. I ain't mad at you, girl.
I love my liner.
Sometimes it's nice to diffuse with a brown liner on the bottom to make sure that you have a softer finish. So I'll show you guys on the other side here too. Look straight up for me. Perfect. We're just gently going to go back and forth and just do a little wiggle. And you can kind of go right into the middle of the eye and continue on that wiggle. And it just gently gives a little effect to the eye without overdressing the eye at the same time.
We love you. We're out of time, but just quickly, the last tip was the
glossy lip. Yes,
Gloss.
glossy lips, friend. Don't do too much of that matte lipstick. It'll sunken in your lips sometimes. Instead,
Well, you got
do a
plump
gloss.
lips, girl. You're
Yes,
good.
and you have nice, beautiful, juicy lips. But
Thank you.
we don't want to do too much on the matte lip. We want to make sure we get a little gloss on there still.
Plump.
Exactly. And this one from Tarte is phenomenal.
I use that
Instantly. Oh, look, there
Yes,
you go,
one of
girl.
those. I do.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Jeray, we always learn so much from you, and you got to keep coming, giving us the tips, because I know it extends more than what you just said.
You're
so
right.
We'll check it. He's like, absolutely. He's got more for us next Monday, right? Or the Monday after next. Jeray on Instagram, Jeray for the Slay, or his website, JerayForTheSlay.com for more with our makeup guru. A lot of moms and dads end up becoming friends with other moms and dads through their kids' school and activities, but it could be tougher to make those same kind of connections once the kids become adults.
Or maybe you're a grandparent that moved for retirement and you're working to build your social circle again. Dr. Cheryl Ziegler joins us now to talk about how can we make new friends and connections as we get older and become empty nesters. Thank you so much for being here. So where do we begin with this?
We begin with acknowledging that, yes, once you, exactly like you said, once you become an empty nester, you kind of realize like, oh, wait, my life was surrounded around whatever it was, the kids, their activities and those things. And people can feel lonely. And then you've got maybe a couple that's sort of looking at each other like, wow, we need to redefine this period of time. And you do. So the first thing I'd say is you have to be intentional, meaning join a group, find your hobby, figure out maybe a sport. Maybe you play tennis or pickleball or golf, something like that. So realize that you have to be intentional and you want to probably balance it with some things that are just for yourself. And if you've got a partner or a spouse, some things that you can do together. But it has to be something that's planned, because if not, a lot of people wind up spending more time alone and at home. And we know that that can lead to loneliness, that can even lead to sadness, depression. So we want you out and about, finding that sport, finding the recreational activity and getting connected.
Yeah, I think that activity-based thing is so true. And I think about like my in-laws, like they golf and that's where all their friends are from, right?
Yes.
Like my mom goes to the gym every day and all of her friends are like people who go, the little old ladies who go to the gym. Sorry, Mom. But like that totally like rings true, right? Because there's something you're going to attend, like this class, or you're going to go to the golf course on this day and you can see your friends there.
I love that. And I feel like for me, I imagine that I would isolate. And I'm just going to say that to put it out there because I never really found core friends here in Colorado until we moved here about 7 years ago. Until I was kind of forced through my daughters. My son's now 4, so now I'm learning some new friends through him. But I was forced to get out there, birthday parties, school events, and it was because of that. So what if you are dealing with someone like me, where unless you're forced to go do it, even if you're intentional, you're setting yourself up for failure?
Yeah. So one of the things you can do is not necessarily have the mindset that I'm going out to meet friends, but one of the other places people who are empty nesters connect with people around volunteering. So you find your passion project. Maybe it's animals, maybe it's children, whatever it might be. So then you kind of go in there with the mindset of like, this is something I love to do. It doesn't have to be social, right? When you're playing a racket sport or golf, it's a little bit social inherently, but this is more like, I'm going to join a board. I'm going to join just Saturday afternoons and we volunteer and do this thing, or getting involved in church or organized religious activities, those kind of things. You can go into it saying, socializing is optional, but I'm coming in here first and foremost for my own self. And I don't know if that would have resonated with you. And then you can see what happens.
No, I think it would have. It kind of takes the pressure off myself.
Right, like you could go to one of those things in and out.
Alex thinks I'm an extrovert, but I'm not. A lot of people think I'm an extrovert. I'm an introvert.
Yes,
At home, I shut down.
Very much so. The thing that I hate getting, I shouldn't say hate, but I
Yeah.
don't like to say hate, but the things that I do not, when you get those evites in your mailbox and somebody from the class has a birthday party and I'm like, oh my God, I have to go because my daughter's gonna have such a good time, but I don't wanna go.
Is it the anxiety, the social anxiety?
Because you're forced to like make small talk with other parents. And I'm just like, I don't want, I know I have to.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the kiddo.
Right.
But I don't want to.
I know.
Yes. Well, I love that you brought that up though, because I promise it doesn't last forever. There will come a point in time where you get to do drop-offs. There will come a point in time. I remember the first time, it was a gymnastics one and there was a coffee shop next door and the person in charge was like, hey, you can go next door. Like, we're good. They were like 4 or 5 and it was like,
it's coming, huh?
I really genuinely remember thinking like, I have 2 hours to myself. And I remember the day, the birthday party, I swear I do. So it won't last forever. But one of the things I will say for me personally is I didn't know if these were gonna be my friends, what they were gonna be. But the preschool moms, shout out to my Paddington moms, they are still like my really good friends. And I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't even thinking about it, right? I was less intentional about my socializing then. But now when I look back, it's like, it kind of happened organically. So you could just show up as yourself, right? That could be no makeup and sweats and whatever. Like your people will be drawn to you and maybe other people who have different values or whatever, they're not going to be drawn to you. So I would just say in those cases, like, yes, you do have to go.
I know.
And but show up as yourself, be yourself. Don't be staring at the screen the whole time, because some people do that, right? And that's the signal. Like, yeah, I don't really want to talk. I'm going to scroll. Some people bring their laptop and they're like working away. Yep,
Oh,
I've seen that. Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's a good tactic.
At a birthday
A straight up laptop, not even just your phone or an iPad. Yeah. They're like, I'm serious, I have to work. So you know what I mean? You could go in with like the mindset. I'm not a huge small talker either, but I do love meeting somebody who, when I leave, I go, I felt a really good connection with them.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
It is refreshing. So this won't last forever, but good things could come.
I love it.
All right, I'll keep you posted. We got a birthday party this weekend.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ziegler. Great advice, especially for Alex and I. Who would have thought?